Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we will be discussing about survey data analysis using Nvivo 12 Pro. So today we will be looking at open-ended questions and also close-ended questions, survey data analysis. And so the first thing you need to do is to click on blank project. So this is an Nvivo software. So click on a blank project and then give a title. Let's just say job function analysis. Then after giving a title, you can also give a descriptions of your analysis and you click on OK. So automatically it opens the interface for you. So it's loading. It opens the interface for Nvivo. So this is Nvivo 12 and under the Nvivo 12 we have um, the imports whereby you can import different files, different informations into the Nvivo 12. So let's look at the project. Under the end capture, you can import web pages, social media data. You can also import from either from Facebook or Twitter or YouTube's. So you can also import files as well, maybe text file, PDF, audios, videos, or images. You also have the Microsoft Excel panel whereby you can also import Microsoft Excel sheet. The text file can also import directly from the SurveyMonkey and also the Qualtrics, SPSS, the EndNote, the Mendeley, the RevRock, the Zotero, and so on and so forth. So this is the import panel in Nvivo 12. You can import information, your data set into the software. The next one we'll be looking at is the create. You can create a memo, you can create a framework matrix, you can also create a notes for your open-ended questions, and also create a classifications and also case classification as well. And the third one is explore. Explore, you can also use explore for finding the word frequency by clicking on the word frequency. You can also find a query wizard and also text search. And then under the explore as well, you can also check the matrix coding by visualizing your codes and also your cases. You can also cross tabs your code and cases and also the attributes. You also have different visualization display by chart, hierarchy charts, mind map, and so on and so forth. So another thing we'll also be discussing about is the left hand side, which is the quick access, your files, your memos, and your notes. So you have data set, you also have the codes and cases. So these are the three important aspects in Vivo. Before you can analyze data, you need to understand the functions of each of these panel. The first one is your data, where it shows the files of your data set. The second one is your codes, whereby you code your open-ended questions. You create the themes for your open-ended questions. While the third one is the cases. The cases might be each of the respondents or as a person or as a group. So these are the most important part aspects in Vivo. And under the cases, you also have the case classifications whereby you create your attribute for each of the cases. So in Vivo 12, most especially under survey data analysis, you should be analyzing your codes against your cases. You should be analyzing your codes against the attributes of each classifications. So let's start our data set by importing a data set into this software. Like I said before, we'll be looking at the survey data analysis, which comprises of an open-ended questions and also a closed-ended questions. So let's click on import. And because our data set is in the Microsoft Excel format, so I'll be clicking on Microsoft Excel, which is on this panel. You click on that and automatically brings you to your desktops. So you find it. So sample data set, that's the name of my data set survey that I'm using for this analysis. And I click on OK. So you need to read this important aspect on this wizard. The first one says that your respondent will be stored as cases. And for each respondent, you will be able to open their corresponding cases to see all the respondents. and this is the science for the cases. And also the second aspect we'll also be looking at is the close-ended questions are created as attributes, and then you'll be able to compare your responses by their demographic or other values. And the last one is the open-ended questions are created as notes, and then all the responses to a question should be grouped together under a single note. So your close-ended questions will be created as either cases and also case attributes, whereby your open-ended questions will be created as notes. So you need to create a themes or a notes for your open-ended questions, while the close-ended questions will represent your case attributes. So the next you need to do is to click on next. Then after that, the wizard which shows you the format of your data set, the ID, the job functions, the age, the occupational title, are you a current student, and also the gender. So we also have education also as part of our data set. So if everything is okay, you click on next as well. And the wizard is saying select a unique ID for each of your cases. So we'll be clicking on ID as a unique ID for our cases. And I create a new classification. You can give it any name. Survey respondent. Let's give it analysis. Give it any name as you may place. And I click on next. So this is the breakdown of open-ended and closed-ended questions. So automatically, the survey import wizard will try to identify which one is open-ended and which one is a closed-ended. So based on these identifications, the first one is closed-ended, which is quite okay. Not bother much about that. And then the job function, which is an open-ended, so that's good. And also the age to educations are close-ended. So the classification looks okay. So we click on finish. So you wait for the data set to be imported. So as you can see, import survey, creating cases for survey respondent, creating cases attribute for close-ended, and creating notes for open-ended question. So these are the most important things that we need to do in survey data analysis. So we click on close. So our data set has been imported into Nvivo 12. We have our ID, we have our job functions, we have our age, occupations, are you a student, gender, and also educations. So if you look at if you click on cases, we have our sample data set, and these are the 10 respondents that we are considering for this survey data analysis. We have the first 1, 2, 3 to 10. And then if you also look at the case classifications, you have our survey respondent analysis. So if you click on it as well, these are the survey responses. And if you click on the first one, we have the attributes. So these are the corresponding informations on the first respondent, the age, the occupations, are you a current student, the gender, and also the educations. So these are the attributes for each of the cases we are considering in this study. So mind you, we have 10 cases, and then all these informations are all the attributes of each of these cases are under the survey respondent analysis. So peradventure, if you have an information that you can create an attribute to any cases in your survey data. So what you need to do is to click on either the first one, new attributes, or you come to this side and also click on this. When you click on that, it automatically brings you the panel for the new attributes. So let's say I want to name the new attribute employed. Just click on values and click on add. Yes. Let's click on add again. No. And then just click on this and click on OK. So as you can see, automatically it appears on the attributes. So these are ways to create an attribute for your case classifications. So if you feel you need to add some attributes, or you need to add some to each of your cases, so these are what you need to do. But because everything has already been set in the Microsoft Excel, all the information is there in each of the respondent, and automatically Nvivo will recognize these as a close-ended questions, and which are the attributes. So the next you need to do is to understand You click on explore. Explore will give you the opportunity to find. So after identifying your close-ended questions, we need to now start creating notes and themes for our close-ended questions, for our open-ended questions. So the first thing you need to do, you can check the word frequency of your open-ended questions. And how can you do that? So first and foremost, you click on file, and you right click on sample data set, and you click on auto quotes. So auto quotes, you can either quote, we have two options. You can either quote at notes or cases for selected columns, or you can quote at note or cases for each of the columns values in a column. So whichever method you apply is still the same. So let's try the second one for each of the values. Click on next, and then the first is choose the column that contains the notes or case name. Let's choose the ID. Let's click on next. Let's choose the column that contains the content you want to code at each node or case. So this is the selected column job functions. Automatically, the auto code wizard will recognize the open-ended questions you want to create a node or themes for. Also click on next as well. And this is our locations, selected locations. So let's just click on sample data sets, location cases, finish. So automatically, a node has been created, autocode has been created, which is this. You click on sample data set. So this is the autocode that has been created for us. So before we proceed for coding, the first you need to do is to just check the word frequency. So you click on the word frequency, click on word frequency, click on selected items. This is the file. Click on the file, click on OK. You can also click on selected folder as well. Click on file, click on notes, cases, click on OK. You can increase the minimum word length to, let's say, 5. Let's say 5. And you can also increase this to this as well. Then click on run query. So these are the frequency of the words in our open-ended questions. We have the business, the count is 112, client 68, similar words, and so on and so forth. So this is just to give an idea of the kind of notes or themes that you can create for your open-ended questions. So because we have 10 respondents, so what I'll be doing, I'll be creating a codes or notes for each of the respondents, for each of the cases, And how can I do that? I go to sample data set. These are sample data sets, and also click on job functions. So under your word frequency, you can as well check the word cloud and see the frequent word. We have the portfolio transitions. So this is just to give you an idea of the frequency of the word that you can use to create your nodes and themes. You can also check the tree map as well, and also the cluster analysis. So these are the kind of themes that you can create for your um, notes and also codes. So the first thing you need to do is you need to understand your research, understand the purpose of your research, understand your research objectives, and also understand your research questions. And that will enable you to assist you in creating a better note and also better themes for your analysis. So mind you, what I'm looking at is the job functions of different cases of different respondents. So click on job function. So these are the job function for the first cases, the second one, and the third one, and so on till the 10th cases. So what I'll be doing is I'll be creating a note for each of these cases for survey data analysis. So how can I do that? The first one is, so let's look at one case after the other. So I will right click on job functions. So before I do that, I need to understand the themes and the first ones. The first case, we have the recording of transactions, customer service, administrative services, accounting record, transactions, reporting to managers, advising clients on best portfolio and business management. So these are like almost 7 different job functions. So let me create a note for these functions. So I'll right click on job functions, create a new note. So let's keep these accounting. Okay. So I also have the customer service as well. So I right click on job functions, customer services. I click on OK. I also have administrative services as well. So I'm creating a news for these functions, for these job functions, administrative services. I click on OK as well. I also have accounting records will also falls under accounting. Transactions also falls under accounting. Reporting to managers. Okay. Let us create a note for that as well. Reporting to managers. Reporting to managers. So let's click on OK. And we also have advising clients on best portfolio. So let's create a news for that as well. Advising clients. We click on OK. And then the last one, which is the business management. Okay, let's also create a note for that as well. So you right click on job functions, business management. So we have all the job functions for the first case. So now let's start inputting that into let's start creating notes for the first case. So the first one is recording transactions. You highlight recording transactions and you drag it to accounting, which is one. You have the file one, the reference one as well. We also have the customer service as well. You drag that to customer service, which is one as well. We also have the administrative services. You also drag it to administrative services, which is one as well. Accounting record and taxation. Okay, they can be into accounting as well. We also have the reporting to managers. Let's see. Reporting to managers. You can drag that to reporting to managers. Advising clients of best portfolio. You drag that as well to advising clients. And the last one, which is the business management, you drag it to business management. So you have created notes for the first case. Now let's go to the second case. We have accounting record and transactions. So let's drag it to accounting. Yeah. Reporting to managers. Let's drag that to reporting to managers. The last one, we have data reporting and visualization. So let's create another note for that as well. Data analysis. Data analysis. So it has been created. So let's drag that to data analysis. So the third one, we have marketing of insurance products. So let's create a note for marketing. Marketing. We have that in marketing. So let's highlight marketing of insurance products. So drag it to marketing. We have advising clients on insurance policy. You drag that to advising clients. You have customer service as well. You highlight customer services and also drag it to customer services. So now let's go to the fourth case. You have data analysis and visualizations, data modeling. So let's highlight everything and drag it to data analysis. We have accounting record and tax sections. Let's highlight that as well. and drag it to accounting. We also have reporting to managers as well. So this is what you need to do for each of your cases by creating a note for that. You also have the advising client and best portfolio. You drag it to advising client. You have customer services. You drag customer services to customer. You also highlight administrative services. Administrative services, business management, business management. So that is it for the fourth case. Now let's look at the fifth one, accounting record and filing tax for client. Okay, let's track that to accounting. Bookkeeping is also accounting as well. Next, drag to bookkeeping, accounting. And then we have financial reporting to managers. Let's drag that to reporting to managers. So I'll be doing the last one, which is the sixth case. So all you need to do is to do it for all the cases in your file. But because of our time, I will be coding the sixth case. The sixth one that will go through, we'll start our visualizations. So the next one is advising client on the best portfolio. So we drag that to advising client, and then the next another one is customer service. You drag to customer service. Another one is administrative services. You drag it to administrative services. So I'm going to stop there. So the next thing we need to do now is now start our explorations and visualizations. So what you need to do is to click on explore and click on cross tabs. So under the cross tabs, you have the cross tab codes against attributes. You can either cross tab your codes against your attributes or against your cases. So let's start with cases, then we'll go to we'll also try the attribute later on. So codes against cases. So you click on this plus button to add your codes. You click on notes, click on sample data, click on job function. So these are our codes. You highlight your codes. You highlight your codes and you click on OK. So we want to cross tabs our code against our cases. So this is an empty box as well. You click on plots. So let's start with the first case. Let's just check the codes against the first case and you click on OK. So after that, you can just click on selected items, click on file. Stuff is not necessary. You can click on folder as well. It's not important. But let's just click on that. Click on OK. So we are running the codes of job functions against the first case. So the next thing you do is to run query. Click on run query. So this is the cross tabs, accounting 2, administrative 1. So you can check the chart. So this is our chart for the job functions for the first case. For the first case, so we have accounting, we have administrative services, we have advising client, one each, and also 2 for accounting. So this is a tabular representation. Data analysis is 0. So this scenario whereby I want to check the codes against cases. So you can also check the codes against all the cases or all the attributes. Now let's try cases codes against attributes. Now this is our codes, and then now let's try to check against let's say gender. Okay, let's run our query. So this is the tabular representations. Click on OK. So we have male and female, female and male, female and male, accounting, administrative, advising clients. So this is the tabular representations of our codes that we've created, and also attributes against gender. You can also check against let's say gender. You can also check the second attribute against, are you a student? run your query. So we have a chart. So this is a tabular representation. You can also check against age. You can check against age as well and run your query. This is your tabular representations. So this is how to run. This is an example of how you can check. You can do a crosstabs of your codes and also of your attributes or your cases as the case may be, and run your query. So you have this breakdown and you look at your chart. So you can also um, change your cell value, row percentage. If you want to change this to a percentage, so just right click on your chart and also cell content, row percentage, count, column percentage. You can also edit your label, the cross tabs, the coding, the x-axis and the y-axis. So this is just like an overview of how you can run your survey data analysis. So let me just quickly do a recap. The first thing you need to do is to run an autocode after importing your files into your Nvivo. You right click your sample data set, you run your autocodes, and automatically you have your notes in your codes. So after that, you now start creating the themes for your open-ended questionnaires, and all your closed-ended questionnaires will appear under your case classifications, and automatically you have a corresponding attribute for each of the cases. So what you need to do in survey data analysis is to do a crosstabs of your attributes and your codes, and also a crosstabs of your cases and your codes. You can also get your nodes from explorations either using a word frequency, or you use a word frequency, and then with that you'll be able to get the breakdown of um, the word cloud, the words you need to use to create your calls, and also the words you need to use to create your teams for your data analysis. So thank you for watching my video. So this is just a quick summary of how we can run a survey data analysis using Nvivo, which comprises of an open-ended question and also a closed-ended question. Thank you for watching. See you next time.